I recently watched the newly released Chuck E. Cheese animated film, and it was pretty decent. And it was recommended that I check out Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000, and I thought, well, let's give it a go. Let's see what this is like. And honestly, it's not terrible. I think for very young children, it could be a decent experience. Watching it as an adult, I found it to be corny, rough around the edges, not that great, but in a way that was kind of fun and charming to watch. So I quite liked the experience. This was released in 1999. It's directed by David O, written by Neil Bligh, and we have a cast including Galen Beyea, I apologise if I've mispronounced that, Stephen Lange, Don Shook, and various others. We also have a voice cast including Duncan Brannan as Chuck E. Cheese. We have Georgia Denney as Helen Henny, who I thought was a particularly interesting character. And I will say as well, I'm in the UK, we don't have Chuck E. Cheese. There is a rumour that we are getting Chuck E. Cheese, which will be interesting. But we don't have Chuck E. Cheese. I've never been to a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't have any connection with these characters. But if I had done, I would have loved this as a concept. Bringing characters to life, characters I'm familiar with because of this fast food restaurant. I would have loved it. I'm the type of person, or I was the type of child, who would have had all of the merchandise, and it just would have been great fun. So it definitely would have appealed. I can absolutely see there being an audience for this. As for the story, that's the bit that wouldn't appeal to me as a child, and it definitely didn't appeal to me now. I wasn't really watching it for the narrative. I was more interested in the characters and seeing what they were like. But the story, while it's fine, isn't the most interesting. A kid is trying to earn $50,000 to give to his aunt and uncle, so Chuck E. Cheese and the other characters travel to the Galaxy 5000 to try and win this cash prize as part of the race. Will they win the race? Will they win the money? Honestly, I wasn't emotionally invested. I could not care less. But the narrative works well enough. It flows well enough. I don't know if Galaxy 5000 is relevant, if this has anything to do with Chuck E. Cheese in general, or if it was created purely for this film. If anybody has any information there, please feel free to share. But certainly the area itself, the Galaxy 5000, it wasn't very good to look at. It wasn't that engaging. Visually, it was not that appealing at all. Sometimes it looked okay, sometimes definitely not. The characters, though, were interesting. I got a good sense of their personalities. It really brought the characters to life. I don't know if that's what I would have expected the characters to be like had I grown up with them, but certainly judging it purely on the film, I was buying into their personalities. I didn't have any issues there. It also has some pretty decent songs, which I quite liked. The character costumes look decent enough. They obviously don't look fantastic, but I believe them. Absolutely no problems there. And I guess as a film from 1999, it is okay. It doesn't look that great, but it's not too rough around the edges. The narrative works well enough, but it wouldn't personally have appealed to me. The characters, though, are really good fun. They seem really interesting. And as I said, as a child, it's the kind of thing I would have loved. Seeing characters I was familiar with brought to life. I think it would have been really great. So I'd love to know what you think of this. Both if you grew up watching it, if it's something you were familiar with as a child, what did you think of it then? Is it nostalgic now? And also if, like me, you're just interested in Chuck E. Cheese and you decide to give it a watch to see what you think. Honestly, had it not been based on a fast food restaurant character, I would be watching this thinking, what on earth are you doing? What is the point of this? Why does this exist? But I love the idea of bringing the character to life, so I don't hate it. I think it's good fun, maybe for the wrong reasons, because it is a little rough around the edges, but at the same time, it's not the worst. It definitely isn't the worst. There are some scenes that are pretty okay. So in general, Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000 is an interesting enough story. I didn't fully care about it, but it works well enough. The music is brilliant, the characters look good, the personalities seem believable. As a one-time watch, I didn't hate the experience. I'd love to know what you think of it, whether you grew up with Chuck E. Cheese or if, like me, you are brand new to the character. If you're looking for something that's a little cheesy, a little corny, a little rough around the edges in places, but ultimately good fun, then maybe it's one that's worth watching.